Welcome back to the PMP Pathfinder Podcast, your 3-minute journey to project mastery. I'm your host, Onyedika. Ever had one of those moments where a project gets completely derailed by something that, looking back, feels like it was obvious? I've definitely seen teams taken by surprise, only to discover the risk had been right there in black and white all along.
That's the kicker, isn't it? I remember a product launch where everything checked out until a transportation strike hit and suddenly our entire plan fell apart. We'd even logged possible delivery disruption in the risk register, but we never actually planned what to do if it happened.
Exactly. That's what's wild about risk management. It's not just spotting the risk, it's making sure you're ready to act. I always tell my teams, a risk ignored is a problem invited. It's about moving from just making lists to actually living with risk every step of the way.
Totally agree. Once we started weaving risk discussions into our regular meetings, the whole team felt more prepared, almost like we had a weather forecast for our project, not just a post-mortem when things went sideways.
What you said about having a project weather forecast really hits home. Speaking of staying ahead, I love using a simple framework, the 4P: model, predict, prioritize, plan, perform. It's how I coach teams to build real risk muscle.
I've applied something similar, and it's amazing how much clarity those steps provide. Predicting isn't just guessing, it's using brainstorming or even the Delphi method to dig up risks you wouldn't spot alone.
And then comes prioritizing which risks could actually wreck the schedule or budget, and which ones you can keep an eye on but not lose sleep over. I find people sometimes get stuck worrying about everything instead of focusing on the big hitters.
Absolutely. Planning responses is where things get interesting. Sometimes it's about avoiding a risk completely, sometimes just softening the blow. But it only works if someone actually owns the follow-up. Otherwise, it just sits in a spreadsheet.
And then there's the perform step, actually monitoring, updating, communicating. I always say, if your risk register is dusty, your project probably has a surprise waiting around the corner. Something I've noticed is the best project leaders don't just check the risk box once they make it a habit. Embedding those quick risk reviews into every project rhythm is what separates the reactors from the proactive leaders.
That resonates a lot. I've seen teams treat risk management as a kickoff exercise and then never revisit it. But honestly, even a so-called low probability risk can become urgent with just one external shift, like a sudden vendor issue or a new regulation.
And that's exactly the mindset shift. Treating risk management as ongoing leadership, not just paperwork. When you can predict, prioritize, plan, and perform, suddenly you're leading through uncertainty, not scrambling because of it.
It's empowering, really. Teams start feeling less like they're waiting for the next shoe to drop, and more like they're steering the ship even if the waters get choppy.
If you're listening and thinking, I want to get better at this, I've got to mention there are tailored ways to grow. For PMP prep or just leveling up your risk game, pmoffice.online has a quick evaluation that points you to the best training fit. It's a great way to get started.
That's a solid resource. Knowing where you stand and what to work on next makes a world of difference, especially when preparing for the PMP exam or tackling your next big project. I'd say don't wait until risk bites get ahead. Get trained and lead with confidence.